In conversation, the insectoid Zodani delegates clicked mandibles as they discussed trade routes. Nobody noticed Min enter except the door sensors, which beeped indifferently. Earth requests speaking time on resource allocation, Min said to the scheduling terminal. The machine hummed. Request noted. Current wait time, 17 hours. Min sighed. Standard procedure for human delegates. He found an empty seat in the far corner of the chamber and settled in for the long wait. A Veltraxian diplomat glanced his way, then immediately turned back to his companions without acknowledgement. Just another day representing the most ignored species in the galaxy, Min muttered. 3 days later, Min returned to Earth without having spoken a single word at the assembly. His shuttle landed at the New Pacific spaceport where Yuna, CEO of Earth's largest mining corporation, waited. How did it go this time? Yuna asked, though she already knew the answer from Min's expression. Same as always. They scheduled me to speak after everyone had already left. Min shrugged. The Confederation doesn't see us as worth their time. Yuna smiled. Then they won't see us coming. Ambassador Min stared at his reflection in the polished metal wall of the Galactic Confederation meeting hall. Another day, another dismissal. He straightened his formal uniform and entered the grand chamber. The room buzzed with activity. Tall, crystalline Arcanians floated near the ceiling. 8-limbed Veltraxians gestured dramatically with me. She led Min to a secure underground facility beneath her company headquarters. After passing through 7 security checkpoints, they entered a laboratory where Dr. Jin hunched over a workstation. Show him, Yuna said. Dr. Jin looked up, dark circles under his eyes but excitement clear on his face. He pressed a button, revealing a hidden compartment in the wall. Inside floated a crystal that glowed with shifting colors. We found it in the Kuiper Belt, Jin explained. It's unlike anything in the Confederation's shared databases. Min approached cautiously. What is it? We call it luminite, Yuna said. When properly processed, it generates energy at efficiencies that break what the Confederation considers possible. Dr. Jin has already built a prototype engine. Jin nodded eagerly. Their fastest ships take 3 weeks to reach Alpha Centauri. Ours made it in 2 days. Min stared at the crystal. The Confederation regulations require us to report this discovery, which is why we won't tell them, Yuna replied. For centuries, they've treated us like children. They restrict our expansion, limit our technology access, and ignore our needs. With this, we can change everything. It would violate our treaties, Min said, but without conviction. Treaties they enforce only when convenient, Jin countered. Last year, the Zodani harvested resources from our solar system without permission. When you filed a complaint, what happened? Min remembered the humiliation. They said it was an administrative error and issued a minor apology. Exactly, Yuna said. We've played by their rules while they treat us as an afterthought. It's time. We developed on our own terms. Min considered the crystal again. Its light seemed to pulse in rhythm with his thoughts. How many people know about this, he asked. 17, Jin replied. All absolutely trustworthy. The president? Not yet, Yuna said. We wanted your input first. You understand the Confederation better than anyone. Min thought about every slight, every dismissal, every time humanity's needs had been deemed unimportant by the galactic community. He made his decision. We keep this quiet. Build more ships. Establish colonies beyond their monitoring systems. Let them think we're still the harmless, primitive species they can ignore. Yuna nodded, relief visible on her face. I was hoping you'd say that. 3 months later, Min sat in another Confederation meeting, watching species discuss dividing newly discovered resource-rich systems among themselves. A Zodani representative was explaining why humans weren't developed enough to participate. Min smiled slightly as his secure communication device vibrated. A message from Earth. 3rd prototype vessel complete. Range and speed exceeded expectations. Mining operations established on exoplanet ZB7. He looked around the room at the powerful species who didn't even see humans as worthy of attention. They had no idea that humanity had already taken its first steps toward becoming a power they couldn't ignore. Their mistake wasn't in underestimating human technology. Their mistake was in believing that being overlooked would make humans accept their place. Instead, it had given humanity the perfect cover to rise unnoticed. Min put his device away and continued to play the part of the patient, unimportant ambassador from that backwater planet called Earth. For now. 5 years had passed since the discovery of Luminite. Earth had changed in ways invisible to outsiders, but profound to those who lived there. Under President Han's leadership, the nations had set aside old conflicts to focus on a shared goal, creating a human presence in space that no galactic power could ignore or control. Commander Tay sat in the captain's chair of the HSS Pathfinder, the most advanced ship humans had ever built. Its hull, reinforced with luminite alloys, was both lighter and stronger than any material known to the Confederation. Its engines could propel the ship through space at speeds that would make the Arcanians' fastest vessels look like they were standing still. "Status report," Tay said, looking at the crew working at their stations. "All systems operating at optimal levels, Commander." His first officer, Lee, replied. "We're ready to make the jump beyond the Oort cloud." Tay nodded. "Then, let's make history." He pressed his palm against the command console. The ship hummed as its luminite core engaged. Stars outside the viewscreen blurred, then stretched into lines of light as the Pathfinder accelerated beyond what the Confederation believed physically possible. Hours later, they arrived at their destination. A star system that was, according to Confederation maps, empty and unremarkable. Perfect for humanity's first major outpost beyond monitoring range. "Begin surface scans of the fourth planet," Tay ordered. "Let's find our new home." While the Pathfinder explored this distant system back on Earth, Ambassador Min attended yet another Confederation gathering. This time he was approached by a Veltraxian diplomat named Krex. "Earth representative," Krex said, his 4 upper arms moving in their cultural greeting while his lower arms remained still, indicating minimal respect. "I wish to discuss your world's application to access the mineral resources in the Rigel sector." Min bowed slightly. "Of course. Has there been a decision?" "Yes. The Council has determined that Earth lacks the appropriate technology and experience to safely extract the specialized minerals. Your application is denied." Krex's tone suggested this was a favor. "Perhaps in another century or two." "Understand," Min said, keeping his expression neutral. "Earth will continue to develop at our own pace." "The Pathfinder has identified 3 more viable worlds," her advisor informed her. "And Dr. Jin's team has developed an improved version of the luminite drive that increases efficiency by 30%. Han nodded with satisfaction. "And the Confederation?" "Still treating us like children," the advisor replied. "Ambassador Min reports they've denied our request to join the Interstellar Medical Knowledge Exchange. They claim our biology research is too primitive to contribute meaningfully." Han almost laughed. Human researchers using luminite to power advanced laboratory equipment had already mapped genetic structures the Confederation had spent centuries trying to understand. "Let them believe what they wish," Han said. "Each day they underestimate us is another day we grow stronger unnoticed." She turned to look at the largest display, which showed a real-time map of human expansion. 17 colonies established, 30 ships built, resources flowing, technology advancing, all hidden from the galaxy's watchful eyes. "When we finally reveal ourselves," Han said quietly, "they will never again make the mistake of ignoring humanity." The Zhodani research vessel Kirtak dropped out of faster-than-light travel near a small moon orbiting the gas giant in system ZB-12. Captain Genthar clicked his mandibles in satisfaction as the ship's sensors confirmed what their intelligence had suggested. Unusual energy readings consistent with mining operations. "Scan for life forms," Genthar ordered his crew of elite warriors disguised as scientific personnel. Detecting approximately 200 biological signatures, his sensor officer reported, consistent with humans. Genthar's compound eyes gleamed with anticipation. Humans? This far from their home system? Impossible. Confirmed, Captain. They appear to have established a research outpost. The captain considered this unexpected development. Humans were not permitted to expand beyond their home system without Confederation approval, which they certainly did not have. More importantly, they shouldn't have the technology to reach this far into space. This is a violation of Confederation law, Genthar declared. Prepare weapons. We will make an example of these lawbreakers. At the Human Research Station, Dr. SEO was analyzing mineral samples when the alarms blared. Unidentified ship approaching, the station's AI announced. Design matches Jodani Imperial class. Weapons systems active. SEO dropped her samples and rushed to the communications console. This is Research Station Aurora to approaching vessel. We are a peaceful scientific outpost. Please identify yourself. The only response was a burst of energy that rocked the station. Shield integrity at 80%. The AI reported calmly. SEO's eyes widened. Shields? We have shields? All Aurora stations were upgraded with defensive capabilities last month. The AI replied. Would you like me to send the distress signal? Yes. Now. The Jodani ship fired again, confident that a few shots would destroy the primitive human outpost. Target still intact, the Jodani weapons officer reported with confusion. They appear to have shield technology. Impossible, Genthar hissed. Humans do not possess such technology. Fire all weapons. The Kirtak unleashed its full arsenal against the station. The shields flickered, but held. In orbit around Earth, Captain Sue of the HSS Defender received the automated distress signal. She immediately alerted Admiral Kang, who gave the order that humanity had been preparing for years. Execute Protocol First Stand, the Admiral said calmly. Sue nodded and pressed her palm against the command console. The ship's luminite core pulsed bright blue, and the Defender vanished from Earth orbit. Back at the research station, Dr. Seo watched in horror as the Jodani ship prepared another attack run. Suddenly, her console chimed. Incoming transmission. From HSS Defender, the AI announced. Captain Sue says to duck. Before Seo could respond, space itself seemed to tear open as the Defender appeared between the station and the Jodani ship. 3 smaller vessels emerged alongside it. On the Kirtak, chaos erupted. 4 human vessels have appeared. The censor, officer shouted. They're not on any known registry, design unknown. Impossible, Genthar repeated, his mandibles clicking rapidly in distress. Scan them. Energy readings off the charts. Captain, they're powering weapons. Captain Sue's face appeared on the Jodani communication screen. This is Captain Sue of the Earth Defense Force. You have attacked a peaceful human research station. Power down your weapons immediately. Genthar clicked in derision. You dare give orders to the Jodani Empire? We are authorized to enforce Confederation law in this sector. Your presence here is illegal. I won't ask again, Sue replied calmly. Destroy them, Genthar ordered. The Kirtak fired its main cannon. The beam struck the Defender's shields and dissipated harmlessly. Minimal shield impact, Sue's tactical officer reported. They're using standard Confederation weapons. Sue nodded. Target their engines and weapon systems. Non-lethal force only. The Defender and its escort ships fired precise beams of blue energy that sliced through the Jodani shields as if they didn't exist. Within seconds, the Kirtak's weapons and engines were disabled. What just happened? Genthar demanded, his compound eyes wide with shock. All major systems disabled, his engineer reported. Their weapons. They cut through our shields like they weren't there. Admiral Kang's face replaced Captain Sue's on the screen. This is Admiral Kang of Earth. Your ship is disabled. Your crew is alive. Consider this mercy. Who are you? Genthar asked, mandibles trembling. How did you get here so quickly? Those weapons, they're impossible. Humanity no longer requests recognition, Kang said. We demand respect. You will be towed to the edge of Confederation space and released. Take this message to your leaders. Earth's territories are now protected. Any further aggression will be met with similar consequences. As the Defender's tractor beam locked onto the disabled Jodani vessel, Kang added, For centuries, you ignored us. That time is over. The news of the confrontation spread quickly through Confederation channels. Species that had dismissed humans for generations suddenly found themselves facing the same question. How had humanity advanced so far without anyone noticing? The Grand Hall of the Galactic Confederation had never been so packed. Representatives from every major species crowded the chamber, their usual diplomatic calm replaced by nervous energy. At the center of the room stood Ambassador Min, no longer relegated to a corner seat but occupying the speaker's position with calm confidence. The Confederation has called this emergency session to address the incident involving Jodani forces and human vessels, announced the Arcanian chairperson, her crystalline form glittering under the lights. Ambassador Min will now speak on behalf of Earth. Min stepped forward, his simple gray uniform a contrast to the elaborate outfits worn by other diplomats. The room fell silent. For 300 years, Min began, humanity has participated in this confederation. For 300 years we have followed you, our rules, accepted your limitations and endured your dismissals. He touched a small device on his wrist. Above the central platform, a holographic display activated, showing the human defense fleet that had intercepted the Jodani vessel. You believed we were confined to our solar system, limited by the technology you chose to share with us. Min's voice remained calm, but carried throughout the chamber. You were wrong. The hologram shifted to display a map of the galaxy with glowing dots representing human settlements. 32 worlds, Min said. Mining operations on 64 moons and asteroids. 17 space stations, all established beyond your monitoring range. Gasps and clicks of shock echoed through the hall. A Veltraxian representative stood abruptly. This is a violation of Confederation law, he shouted, all 8 limbs gesturing in agitation. Non-integrated species require permission to... Permission? Min interrupted. Like the permission your mining ships asked before extracting resources from our asteroid belt last year? The Veltraxian fell silent. The hologram changed again, displaying the human defense fleet's capabilities. Ships that could cross the galaxy in days instead of months. Shields that could withstand concentrated fire from multiple opponents. Energy weapons that rendered traditional defenses useless. President Han will now address the Confederation, Min announced. The hologram transformed into a life-sized projection of President Han standing at her office in Earth's United Government headquarters. Members of the Galactic Confederation, Han began, her voice steady and authoritative. For generations you have treated humanity as an afterthought. Today that changes. She gestured and the display showed human technological advancements, achievements that shocked the assembled representatives. We did not come to threaten, Han continued. We came to correct a misconception. Humanity is no longer a primitive species to be guided and limited. We are your equals and we demand to be treated as such. After the transmission ended, chaos erupted in the chamber. Species that had dismissed humans for centuries now argued about how to respond to this revelation. The Arcanian High Council called for sanctions. The Veltraxians suggested military containment. But the Jodani representative, who had received the report from Captain Genthar, counseled caution. Their technology exceeds our understanding, the Jodani warned. Aggression would be unwise. While the Confederation argued, the Arcanian military command took matters into their own hands. They dispatched a stealth team to infiltrate Earth's main shipyard in orbit around Mars. Their mission? Sabotage the human fleet before it became an even greater threat. The Arcanian operatives, considered the best in the galaxy, bypassed the outer security systems with ease. They reached the central hub of the shipyard, planting destructive devices throughout the structure. Primary charges set, the team leader reported to his command ship. Secondary targets acquired. We'll have this primitive facility crippled. Within, he stopped mid-sentence as the lights around them suddenly shifted to red. A calm voice spoke from hidden speakers. Unauthorized entry detected. Security countermeasures activated. The Arcanians reached for their weapons but found them unresponsive. Their communication devices went silent. Even their personal shield. Generators failed. A human woman appeared on a nearby screen. I'm G, head of security for this primitive facility, she said with a small smile. Welcome to Earth's defense grid. I hope you enjoy your stay. Force fields materialized around each infiltrator. The sabotage devices they had planted floated harmlessly into collection tubes. Your mission has failed, G continued. But don't worry. We're transmitting this entire incident to the Confederation Assembly. Live. In the Confederation Hall, the arguing diplomats fell silent as their main display showed the captured Arcanian team. The attempted sabotage, the ease of their capture, and most shockingly, the technological sophistication of Earth's defenses were broadcast to every species present. Dr. Jin appeared on the screen next, standing beside a glowing blue crystal. This is luminite, he explained. Discovered in our own solar system but overlooked by your survey teams. It allowed us to advance our technology beyond what you thought possible. He demonstrated its properties, showing energy outputs that defied conventional physics. We didn't develop this to wage war, Jin concluded. We developed it because you left us no choice but to find our own path forward. As the transmission ended, a new reality settled over the Confederation. The species they had ignored for centuries had silently become one of the most advanced powers in the galaxy. 10 years had passed since humanity's dramatic emergence as a galactic power. The initial shock had given way to a new reality. Ships bearing the Earth insignia were now common sights at trading posts across the galaxy. Human technology, once dismissed as primitive, was now highly sought after. But what truly set humans apart wasn't their advanced ships or weapons, it was their approach to power. In the command center of the Veltraxian war vessel Dominant Claw, Admiral Zextur slammed all 8 of his limbs against the conference table. The humans mock us. He bellowed to his officers. They establish a colony on the edge of our territory and act as if we should simply accept it. His second-in-command shifted nervously. The colony is technically outside our claimed space, Admiral. By mere light minutes, Zextur hissed. We were expanding in that direction. They knew this. The Confederation has already recognized their claim, another officer pointed out. The Admiral's eyes narrowed. The Confederation has grown soft and fearful of these humans, I have not. He straightened to his full height. Prepare the battle group. We will teach these upstarts what happens when they provoke the Veltraxian Empire. On the human colony New Eden, families went about their daily lives, unaware of the approaching threat. Farmers tended to adapted Earth crops growing in the alien soil. Children played in parks under the light of the system's blue sun. The colony had grown quickly, becoming a thriving community of 10,000 people. Governor Chen was reviewing infrastructure reports when the alert came through. Governor, we've detected 12 Veltraxian warships entering the system. The defense coordinator reported. They're not responding to communication attempts. Chen frowned. Alert Earth Command. Activate protective measures. Within minutes, a shimmering dome of energy appeared over the entire colony. Underground shelters opened, and civilians calmly proceeded to them as they had practiced in drills. There was no panic, only efficient preparation. Admiral Zextur watched the colony's shield activate and laughed. They think that will save them. Begin the bombardment. Show no mercy. The Veltraxian ships opened fire, their weapons striking the shield with devastating force. Energy crackled across the dome's surface, but it held firm. Continue firing, the Admiral ordered. No shield can withstand our full arsenal. On Earth, General Sun received the alert from New Eden. He calmly walked to the command center where President Han waited. The Veltraxians? Han asked. Sun nodded. 12 warships attacking New Eden. The colony shield is holding, but this is a clear act of war. Han sighed. We knew someone would test us eventually. Implement response protocol. 3. Not protocol 5? Sun asked, surprised by the restrained response. We are not Veltraxians, Han replied simply. We do not need to destroy to make our point. 3 minutes later, human ships appeared around the Veltraxian battle group. Not just a few ships, 30 vessels materialized simultaneously, surrounding the attackers in a perfect formation. Admiral Zextur stared at his tactical display in disbelief. Impossible. Where did they come from? How did they respond so quickly? On his communication screen, General Sun's face appeared. He didn't look angry or afraid, just disappointed. Admiral Zek's tour, Sun said calmly. Your unprovoked attack on our colony ends now. Power down your weapons. Never, the Admiral shouted. The Veltraxian Empire does not surrender. Sun nodded, as if expecting this response. Very well. The human ships emitted a pulse of blue energy. Suddenly, every system on the Veltraxian vessels shut down except for life support and basic communication. What happened? Zextur demanded, frantically pressing unresponsive controls. Your ships are disabled, Sun explained. Your crews are unharmed. You will be towed back to Veltraxian space with a message for your leaders. We did not destroy your ships. We did not kill your people. Remember this, Mercy, when you consider testing us again. The entire confrontation lasted less than 3 days. News spread quickly through the Confederation. Once again, humans had demonstrated power beyond what other species possessed. But more importantly, they had shown restraint that defied expectations. 1 month later, High Counselor Min stood before the Centennial Confederation Summit. Representatives from every species listened with unprecedented attention. 10 years ago, Min began, I stood in this hall and revealed that humanity had risen without your notice. Today, I stand here to address your fear. He looked around the room, meeting the eyes of those who once ignored him. Yes, we know you fear us. Not just because of our technology or our ships, but because you don't understand us. You expected vengeance for centuries of dismissal. Instead, we offered trade. You expected conquest. Instead, we established boundaries. Min's voice grew stronger but remained calm. For centuries, you ignored us, because we seemed harmless. Now, you fear us because you believe we seek vengeance. But humanity's strength isn't our technology or military. It's that we remember being overlooked and choose a different path. We don't want your fear. We want a galaxy where no species is dismissed as irrelevant. The chamber was silent when Min finished speaking. Then, slowly, representatives began to stand in the traditional galactic gesture of respect. The Arcanian chairperson spoke first. Perhaps we have all been taught a valuable lesson. The measure of a species is not in their weapons, but in how they choose to use them. As Min left the chamber, he smiled slightly. Humanity had indeed become the most feared species in the galaxy, not because of their capacity for destruction, but because they had forever changed the rules of power. And that was truly revolutionary.